one student came into the classroom, the first of the school year, and looked almost like a turtle, just head down, shoulders up, with a coat on even, in August. And we worked in cooperative learning. This was a student that wasn't a success in school, and I started the students in cooperative learning groups, and by the end of the 6 weeks he had his coat off, actively participating, and was actually passing the subject areas that we were working in cooperative learning. So I just want to say, if you haven't given it a try, I'd give it a try.
It is difficult to imagine a world that does not involve cooperative interactions among human beings. We socialize and live in groups, yet many times it is often the lack of the ability to cooperate, to connect effectively with other human beings, that is responsible for the failure of jobs, marriages, and other relationships.
Quickly and quietly, get your desk turned.
It is within our classrooms that students learn to be contributing adult members of society. With this in mind, many teachers in schools across Alabama and across our nation are providing opportunities for students to learn to work cooperatively with each other in interdependent situations. In this way, students are acquiring the skills they will need to live in the world of their future.
The world is changing so rapidly today that it scares me as a kindergarten teacher to know that I'm trying to prepare children for jobs that don't even exist in this century. From one century to the next, things change so much. And from one year to the next, things change so much. And in kindergarten, it's very important for us as classroom teachers to prepare our children for jobs and for their future. And as we go into the future, we need to think what is important for these children to learn. Not just academic work, but also social skills and how to get along with each other, how to get along with people on the job, and how to get along in life as they grow into teenagers and grow into adults.
Schools have really changed. When my grandfather was a boy back in 1916, he went to this one-room schoolhouse. He sat right here, and Sally Sue Morgan sat right here. Yes, I can still remember his story about the day he dipped her braids in the ink. The schoolmaster used the rod right over there. 10 years later, Sally Sue married my grandfather. These were his textbooks, and this was his paper. Yes, things were really different when Granddad was a boy in this one-room Alabama schoolhouse. Things have really changed. Yes, times have changed. One thing I've noticed is that education has always reflected our changing society.
In 1798, the crumbling Spanish Empire ceded all of what is now Alabama, except the coastline to about 30 miles above Mobile, to the infant United States. Alabama became a part of the United States Mississippi Territory. After 1798, adventurous settlers from all over the United States poured into Alabama. One of these early settlers, John Pierce of Connecticut, started the first known non-sectarian school in Alabama. Pierce founded his school in 1799 at Boatyard Settlement on Lake Tensaw, just north of Mobile. Pierce taught his students by the blab method, by word of mouth, how to read, write, and do arithmetic. He soon realized that he could make his fortune elsewhere and left teaching to become a cotton dealer. In 1816, the territorial government at Natchez appropriated $500 each to St. Stephen's Academy, chartered in 1811, and Green Academy, chartered in 1812. This was the first public money used for education. Alabama continued to build on its educational heritage when it became a state on December 14, 1819. The first governor of the state, in his initial message to the legislature, stressed the need for education in Alabama. The framers of the 1819 state constitution set aside lands for the support of a state university and for the promotion of the arts, literature, and the sciences throughout the state. Federal land grants to the states for education were provided for in the 1787 Northwest Ordinance and were later applied to all lands in the Southwest of which Alabama was a part. Alabama was still a frontier state, and most Alabamians had little appreciation of the need for public education. People were generally more concerned with material progress. The University of Alabama opened in 1831. The university remained small throughout the antebellum period. It reached peak enrollment with 158 students in 1836. Traditionally, education in Alabama was for the elite, those who could afford it. Academies were established by planters and wealthy merchants who ridiculed the public school system. In many areas, wealthy families hired tutors to provide educational opportunities for their children. In other places, groups of planters joined informally to hire a teacher, construct a simple log building, and thus open a school. Sometimes the schools were called old field schools because of their location in an abandoned clearing.
Think about the Depression years and the years of World War II. Some of the most important changes in education were those caused by the Russians launching Sputnik in the late 1950s. Now our changing society is shown in the way that our workplace is moving toward high technology, management, and information-related jobs in which the ability to work well with others is essential.
Industries this day and time are going more toward the total employee involvement, and if you get everybody to working together at a young age, they'll be more suited for the type of work that most of the manufacturing areas are going to today. That gets them started early working together, and as they grow older, they'll have the incentive to work together with somebody else, even in school to work out their problems or on the job to work out their problems.
Education for the industrial age emphasized one worker wrote tasks. Classrooms were structured to meet that need. We have now entered a different age, the post-industrial age, or the age of information management. There is an emphasis on problem solving by frontline workers, on teamwork and interpersonal skills. Knowledge alone will not be sufficient for success in the 21st century. Workers must know how to learn and how to apply knowledge. Cooperative learning is one method that can provide many of these benefits to students and teachers. In the cooperative classroom, students work together in structured small group situations. As students work within these small groups, there is an emphasis upon developing critical thinking skills, upon developing the ability to work well with others. The positive results of cooperative learning have been well documented by research. Higher levels of achievement and retention of learned material, improved race relations, improved language development, increased self-esteem, improved classroom climate, improved problem-solving and critical thinking ability. Teachers, too, benefit from cooperative learning. Many teachers find that their classrooms are transformed into lively, vibrant places where students are actively involved in their own learning.
But you need to make sure it's airtight. Okay, looking good. We'll remedy that. Airtight.
Shouldn't it be around that thing? Because see, when this warms up, when it warms up, it'll go.
Well, so you don't want to put it in the window where the air molecules can be expanded by the sunlight, because then it will bow it out. You see, that's why I didn't place. You know, when I set it by the window that first day, and you remember about this time of day, it expanded to such a good that it popped off. So that's why I don't place it over there. That's why I place it back on the back.
I'm saying from that, like we had it up there. What if it got cold and see, and it goes up, and when it's
That's right. When it's cooler, it will go up. That's the thing about it, see? Cooler air, if you look, has a higher pressure.
I know it's going up. Sun's up there.
But see, it doesn't matter. Usually, high pressure will come in with clear weather. You see, it's cooler today, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
But it's sunny outside, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
That's a high pressure area. It came in, it's cooler and drier. We don't have any clouds, we don't have any rain. Okay? But it's still sunny. It can be sunny and cool, can't it? Sunny and cool. Makes sense? Looking good. Let's have a look, see what you got. What a work of art. That looks nice. Airtight. Very good. Now you have yourselves a barometer.
No longer is a teacher just the sage on the stage dispensing information, but the teacher becomes a guide on the side as students work in cooperative groups. Cooperative learning can thus provide another dimension to the role of the teacher in the classroom. Clearly, cooperative learning is good for students and teachers alike. In fact, This change in the classroom has had a renewal effect on many teachers who have used this strategy. These teachers are excited again about teaching just by watching how excited their students are about learning, particularly students who never seemed to respond before. Let's listen as some Alabama teachers talk about what cooperative learning has done to increase their enthusiasm for teaching.
I'm Joyce White. I teach at Hill Elementary School in Montford, Alabama. About 4 years ago, I was completely burned out on teaching school. I mean, it was a drag to get up and go to school every morning. Once I got there, things got pretty much better, but after about 6 weeks into a new year, the students knew exactly what we were going to do every day. Then I was trained in cooperative learning, and I started using it in my classroom, and it made all the difference in the world, not only in me, but in my students too. It's a joy to get up and come to school now. It's not a job, and it makes a difference in the way the kids feel about school also. Every day they're wanting to know, what are we going to do today? Are we going to work in groups today?
Cooperative learning has really changed my whole way of teaching. I was one of the old-time social studies teachers that stood up in front of the class and talked for 60 minutes every day. The A students made A's, and the rest of the students didn't necessarily learn that much. I was introduced to cooperative learning when a group of teachers in science and math at our school became part of Project Asset. I was very interested in the things that they had to say, and I borrowed some materials and took a look. I went to a summer workshop, and with much trepidation began to put into effect some cooperative learning. It involved a new way of structuring classes. It put the burden of learning on the students' shoulders for a change. I was no longer the sole authority. I was responsible for structuring a classroom and providing materials and setting it up so that people could consciously choose to take responsibility for their own learning.
Of course, the teacher we were the most excited about was Carrie Harvey, and I believe you are going to talk to her today. Carrie had taught 35 years when we started talking to her about cooperative learning and learning styles. And of course she said, this is what I always wanted, always really wanted to teach this way. So she did. She became a part of Project Asset in her 35th year. Agreed to stay around her 36th, and she's even made a move to this campus. So we think if a teacher's taught that many years and she's that excited by something, it must be pretty wonderful.
One big thing is we came up with a new assistant principal by the name of Miss Barbara Cotton. And she came bubbling down the hall saying, oh, I hear that you're going to retire. And I said, yes, nice knowing you, but I won't know you very long. And she said, why? And I told her. So she said, oh, we're going to get you involved, and you're going to enjoy it. And I thought to myself, I don't think this woman can do anything that I'll stay on. But she did. She inspired me. I love what I do. And when we started talking cooperative learning, and I said, I'm game. I'm going to learn this thing, and I'm going to work it. And I thought to myself, I see no way that I'll change and let kids maybe walk around and do all these things. I just can't do it. But I did. And I've enjoyed every bit of it, and it has been great. And I think the kids have profited by it.
Think of it, students excited, engaged in learning, and challenged to succeed. As educators, parents, and concerned citizens, those are our goals for Alabama's children.
Let's go back and review what we did yesterday in the science lab. Who can tell me some of the things we did yesterday in the science lab? All right, Jeffrey? We made mixtures. Okay. All right, let me get Patrick.
We made suspensions.
Suspensions, good. Mixtures, suspensions. All right, Shannon.
We saw how to solute, dissolve, and solvent.
How the solute dissolves in the solvent, exactly right. Jay?
We made compounds.
Did we make compounds? Okay. DJ?
Solutes. Studying about solutes.
Okay. Okay, basically we concentrated on mixtures, suspensions, and solutions. Monique, can you give me an example of a solution that we did yesterday?
Hot water, with sugar.
Exactly right. Good. Hot water with sugar. And John, what happened when we put the sugar in the hot water?
It dissolves in the water.
Okay, it dissolves. What is it?
The sugar.
The sugar dissolves in the water. Good. All right, Becky, which one of those substances was the solute and which one was the solvent?
The solvent was the water and the solute was the sugar.
Okay, good. Who remembers what happens when a substance dissolves in another substance? What happens when a substance dissolves in another substance? Jay?
It breaks away.
It breaks away. What is it?
The solid.
All right, Shannon, see if you can help him out.
The molecules break apart.
The molecules break apart. That's exactly right. All right, that's a solution. Let's talk about a suspension for just a minute. A suspension. Who can tell me what happens in a suspension? Do you remember, Antoine? Flame? Okay, in a suspension. Shannon?
The substance doesn't dissolve.
The substances do not dissolve. What do? What do they do, Jay?
They hang around.
Okay, they hang around in another substance. What happens if you leave a suspension sitting for a long period of time? What happens if you leave one sitting, Monique?
It will sink to the bottom.
Okay, one of the substances will probably sink to the bottom, and they will separate, won't they? Okay, that's a good review of what we did yesterday. Now, today we're going to do a review activity of the whole chapter, okay? We're going to do a jigsaw lesson. What kinds of things do we do when we do a jigsaw activity? All right, Patrick?
We make expert groups.
Okay, we meet in expert groups, and in those expert groups, what do we do, DJ?
We have lessons we have to study
And you become an expert on that particular part of the lesson. Now, I'm going to give each group an envelope, okay? And in your envelope, you're going to have your expert sheets, and they already have your name on them, and you're going to have a set of white sheets. I only want you to take out your expert sheets and get yours, okay? Get the one with your name on it. Okay. Leave the white sheets inside. Okay. Make sure that's your envelope. Okay, some of you, there are 4 expert sheets, and some of you only have 3 people in your group, don't you? Okay, when you come back to your cooperative group from your expert group, then you're going to work on that extra expert sheet together, okay? Look over your expert sheet. Does everyone see their job?
Yes.
Raise your hand if you are a reader. There should be a reader in every group. Excellent. Okay, when you come back to your cooperative learning groups, you will be the reader for your team worksheet. All right, raise your hand if you're the noise monitor. All right, Lakeisha, what kind of voices are we going to use in this activity? Excuse me? 3-inch voices, okay? Show me some things that we can do, some nonverbal forms of communication for noise level. Carrie?
Put your finger out.
Okay, show me. Okay, do the shh. All right, Leanna, another nonverbal form for noise level. How about this one? Just take your voices down. Stephen? Okay, this, 3-inch voices. Very good. John? Oh, good. Time out. That means your group's a little loud. Very good. All right, now raise your hand if you are a praiser. The praiser in your group. Okay, Carrie, tell me something you can do to praise someone in your group.
Say, good job.
Good job. Great. DJ?
Pat on the back.
A pat on the back. That's a good nonverbal form of communication. All right, and the last job is a task monitor. The task monitor is going to be the person in the group that keeps everybody on target with what they're doing. Make sure you stay on the subject of science, right? Okay, good. Does everyone understand the roles? Okay, those roles are in your cooperative learning groups. In your expert groups, work together on all of the roles, okay? Okay, we're going to move to our expert groups now. If you have a green sheet, you are what kind of expert today? A compound expert, that's right. If you're a compound expert, then I would like for you to move to the area up front. Okay, you may have to pull your desk. You may have to pull your desk together. All right, let me give all the directions, please. Okay. If you are an atom expert, I'd like for you to meet in this area down here on the floor. Okay? If you are an element expert, I'd like for you to meet up here on the rug. And I believe the last one is a molecule expert. Okay, if you're a molecule expert, I'd like for you to meet in this area back here. Okay, we're going to be working on transition today, so I'm going to be watching to see which groups move the best today, the quietest, okay? All right, move to your expert groups. Take your folders and your books. What a wonderful job you're doing at moving. Thank you. As soon as you get in your expert group, you may get started. You're going to have 10 minutes. 10 minutes for your expert sheet.
Coming together, Alabama. We are a state rich in diversity. We can learn much from each other, but first, we must learn to work together. The cooperative classroom is a place to begin the process of coming together. What we'll be together. Alabama's children, learning to work together for today, learning to work together for a lifetime.
And today we get a chance to practice what we know without Miss Kahila being up here and telling you exactly how to work it and exactly what to do. I'm going to let you help one another learn today. And the way that we're going to do this is we're going to think for just a minute about why do we need to be able to tell time. Can anybody tell me why are the reasons we need to tell time? Okay, Derek.
So we can know what time it is.
All right, well, it's important for us to know what time it is at certain times of the day. What do you think, Natalie? Why do you think it's important for us to be able to tell time?
So if we do something, we can go back and not try to miss it.
All right, to keep us informed of what time things are going on in our lives. Okay, Cole?
When it's amazing.
Okay, we might have to be somewhere at a certain time. And without a clock or a watch, we might not realize that time. And that way, everybody can come together and meet at a certain hour because we know the time. Good. I want you to realize how important it is for you to use time in your lives and be able to use a clock. So today, you're going to get to practice telling time together. The objective that I want you to do socially today is I want you to be able to use your quiet voices. Now, I'd like for everybody to measure right now and show me what a quiet voice is and say something nice to your neighbor this morning. Good. I cannot hear a word. That's wonderful. Tim, you and Lee and Cassie may work together since your partner is not here, okay? All right, so that works out that I don't hear anybody talking and everybody's in a soft voice. Do you have a question, Tim? Okay, would you like to put it on my desk and we'll take care of it later and you can take it home. The next thing we're going to work on is how we move to get our materials. Forrest, can you tell me a rule about moving around in the room when we work with partners?
When we move around, we do not run.
Good, we don't run.
If we do, the people might be going to the same place and where we're going, it might have this sharp end and then you might bump into it.
That's right. We don't want any of our boys and girls to be hurt. What's the rule that you know, Jonathan, about moving around in the room?
If
All right. Anybody else want to share? Okay, Earl?
On the playground, you don't want to fight because you might get them
All right, even on the playground, we have to be careful, don't we, about what we're doing. And we love our partners, and we don't want to hurt each other, do we, boys and girls? Okay, why don't you give your partner a pat on the back? Okay, great.
Everything we need to know, we can learn in a cooperative classroom. Whether or not we like other group members or agree with them, we can learn to work together, cooperatively and effectively with everyone to achieve our common goal. We can use cooperative skills to resolve our differences. No one is good at everything, but everyone is good at something. We have not completed a task until everyone has completed the task. Two heads are better than one. We are many and we are one. Honoring our diversity creates unity. We sink or swim together.
Cooperation is a fundamental concern of Alabama educators. The increasing complexity of social and economic conditions in our state and in our world has brought the importance of cooperation to the forefront. We recognize that students will need more than basic skills and information to meet the demands of an increasingly interdependent world. Our students must be provided with opportunities to learn the skills necessary for living successfully with one another. Cooperative learning is an important response to the transformations in our society. It provides interactive learning experiences designed to promote teamwork and enhance academic achievement. As students work together toward a common goal, their communication skills, higher-level thinking skills, and social skills improve. They learn to help one another learn. All students want to learn if learning is enjoyable and has a purpose. As our children become engaged in the learning process, our classrooms reflect their joy in learning. All across Alabama, we are coming together to help students become more effective and efficient learners. Alabamians cooperating to learn, cooperating to live and work together for a better tomorrow.